Did I ever tell you the advice I've received from people in running my different assignments? I call this one never get advice from someone who's never done it.
Welcome to a fresh new week on Humor Meets Storytelling with Dr. Muthoni Omuhungo. Step into our happy little corner of the internet, where wit and wisdom go hand in hand, and every story is wrapped in faith, fun, and a generous sprinkle of humor. The week may come with its challenges, but here, we believe a hearty laugh and a heartfelt story can make all the difference. Whether you're looking for a mood boost, a fresh perspective, or just a reason to pause and smile, you're in the right place. In just 10 minutes, we serve up laughter, insight, and storytelling, a perfect way to reset, recharge, and refocus as you step into the new week. So wherever you are, commuting to or from work, sipping your morning coffee, winding down from a long day, or simply needing a pick-me-up, plug in, press play, and let's laugh a little, learn a little, and live a lot. Tune in daily on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Spotify, and WhatsApp, and let's spread the joy, one story at a time. Life's too short, let's make it count.
So let me tell you a story about advice, and not just any advice, but advice from people whose only qualifications are theoretical museums. Years ago, I had a heated discussion with a brother from church, whom we will call James. At that time, I was navigating life as a mother to an 8-year-old, which meant I had survived the infamous terrible twos and every chaotic phase since. James, however, was single and blissfully child-free, which naturally made him an expert on parenting. James declared with all the confidence of someone who's never met a toddler that he would never spank his future kids. Instead, he would correct them with scriptures. According to him, the rod of correction mentioned in Proverbs was not a literal rod, but the Bible itself. I stared at him, trying to keep my face neutral, and thought, bless your theoretical heart. After realizing he was unshakable in his opinions, I decided to save my energy and let him win that round. What was the point? He hadn't yet had the pleasure of reasoning with a 3-year-old mid-tantrum who believed they should be allowed to eat crayons for breakfast. Fast forward a few years, James got married and the Lord blessed him with 3 kids. When his eldest hit the dreaded terrible twos, I bumped into him and casually asked how the correcting with scriptures method was working out. His sheepish reply, my wife and I are much wiser now. Turns out I spoke too soon. It's easier said than done. In other words, theory met reality. And the rod, literal this time, had come into play. Now, this story isn't about spanking, though I'm firmly in favor of measured discipline when needed. It's about choosing who you allow to advise you in your God-given assignments. On this social media street, we have self-appointed gurus for everything. Parenting advice from those without kids, marriage counsel from the unmarried, business strategy from those who've never run a lemonade stand, let alone a company. My former pastor used to say, a man with experience is not at the mercy of a man with theory. And isn't that the truth? Experience teaches what textbooks and opinions cannot. It builds credibility that once unknown cannot match. When someone offers advice, ask yourself, have they been where I am going? Are they speaking from lived experience or from a lofty place of untested ideas? Take my recent whirlwind of project. A Nairobi book fest 1 week, followed by a Uganda gala the next. I was stretched so thin, I felt I might snap. In the chaos, a fellow publisher, Trophy from Fanisi Creations, messaged me. She said, I know what you're going through. Convening authors is no joke. I just launched books for 3 kings and it was hard. I can't imagine how you're managing a whole fest. Grace be multiplied. Her words were a balm to my soul. She had been there, and her encouragement carried so much weight because she understood. Similarly, Gathuku from Africa Speak sent me a voice note before the gala. His timing was nothing short of divine. He has convinced similar events, and with the wisdom of someone who has battled through the trenches, he carefully explained all the possible handles I could encounter. He didn't stop there. He spoke a blessing over me, the kind of blessing that reaches deep into your soul and pulls out strength you didn't know you had. By the time I finished listening, I sighed with a heartfelt amen at the end of his note, feeling a renewed sense of purpose and peace. There's something profound about receiving encouragement from someone who gets it, who has walked the path, stumbled over the same stones, and emerged stronger on the other side. It turns once from a mere advice into a lifeline of grace and wisdom. It reminded me yet again that when I'm navigating my God given assignments in the publishing industry in Africa, voices like Kathuku's are worth their weight in gold. Their advice, priceless. Why? Because they weren't just theorizing, they were sharing from a place of having walked the same path. So, to sum up, be discerning. Not every voice is worth listening to. Seek counsel from those who've walked your road, fought your battles, and emerged on the other side. The wisdom of experience will always trump the arrogance of theory. And James, well, I'm still waiting for him to explain Proverbs 13:24 to his 3-year-old mid tantrum. So, here are my lessons today. 1. Seek counsel from those with experience. It's wise to take advice from people who have walked a path you're on. Their experiences lend credibility and depth to their counsel. Those who speak from theory, no matter how eloquent, cannot fully grasp the realities of a journey they've never taken. 2. Discern the source of advice. Not all advice is worth taking, especially in the age of social media where everyone is a self proclaimed expert. Before applying someone's recommendations to your life, ask yourself, have they been where I am or where I am going? 3. Experience trumps theory. As today's conversation highlights, practical knowledge gained through real life challenges is far more valuable than untested ideas. As the saying goes, a man with experience is not at the mercy of a man with theory. Choose wisdom born out of practice over opinions rooted in speculation. 4. Encouragement from peers is powerful. A well timed word of encouragement from someone who understands your struggles can make a world of difference. Such ones, especially from those who have faced similar challenges, bring strength, clarity, and affirmation when you need it most. 5. Timing and blessings matter. Sometimes it is not just the advice that matters, but also the timing and the spirit in which it is given. A blessing or a word of encouragement spoken at the right moment can feel like divine intervention, providing the clarity and peace needed to press on in your God given assignments. These lessons remind us to be selective about whose voices we allow to shape our decisions, especially in the weighty matters of life and ministry. Talking of experience, what book is in my hands today? If this conversation has taught us anything, it's that experience is the best teacher. Better than Google, Auntie Matilda's unsolicited advice, or that friend who has all the theories but no scars to prove it. And speaking of experience, let me tell you about the book in my hand today. It's not just any book, it's The Father's Heart by Onwatch Okech, crowned the 2024 Akaba Men and Women category Book of the Year by CLC Kenya. Trust me, this book deserves a standing ovation, or at least a dad joke salute on the list. The Father's Heart isn't one of those fluffy parenting manuals filled with recycled cliches and unrealistic tips like just stay calm when your toddler finger paints your walls with peanut butter. No, no, no. Olwot writes from the trenches of real fatherhood, where patience isn't just a virtue, it's an extreme sport. The book is a goldmine of wisdom for men, especially those raising daughters. Those tiny humans who can melt your heart one moment and out-argue you the next. Olwot breaks down vital principles like patience for when they ask why 187 times in a row, understanding for when they still ask why, and nurturing open communication, because sometimes you need more than, grants and nons to board. What makes this book stand out is the way Oloch combines thoughtful insights with practical, doable strategies. This isn't the kind of book that leaves you saying, great idea, but how? Nope. He hands you the playbook and says, here's what worked for me, go forth and conquer. And let's not ignore the quotes. Oh, the quotes. They are the kind you will want to frame or whip out during deep conversation to sound super profound. The book structure is also spot on. Each chapter builds on the last, so you're not left wondering if you accidentally skipped a page. It's smooth, engaging, and full of those aha moments that make you feel like a parenting genius. Here's the thing. Onwachokech writes as a father who's been there. He's not sitting on a pedestal, doling out advice like James from my earlier story. No, this man has survived tantrums, teenage moons, and probably a few awkward tea parties with stuffed animals. He speaks from experience, and that's why his words carry weight. So, whether you're looking for practical tools, a good laugh, or reassurance that you'll be okay, The Father's Heart has you covered. It's more than a book, it's a lifeline for dads and moms, because let's face it, we all need the help. And just like James, who had to learn the hard way that parenting is not a theoretical exercise, Oloch reminds us that the best advice comes from those who've lived it. So, grab this book, buckle up, and get ready for the wild, wonderful ride of parenting with wisdom, patience, and maybe a little less peanut butter on the walls.
Let's meet the author. Okech is passionate about guiding men toward renewal and restoration, helping them transform their hearts and minds while deepening their relationships. With a strong focus on intentionality, mission, and purpose, he inspires men to cultivate deeply connected and abiding intimacy, take responsibility for their lives, and embrace ownership in their personal and relational journeys. Through his work, Okech empowers men to gain mastery over their inner lives, equipping them to lead with clarity, confidence, and joy. His approach fosters lasting relationships, personal fulfillment, and a victorious life rooted in purpose. Find more at africanauthors.net. That's a wrap on today's episode of Humour Meets Storytelling with Dr. Muthoni Omuhango. As we close, remember, laughter is a divine gift, and every story is a gentle nudge that God's grace is always at work. If today's episode made you smile, think, or simply breathe a little easier, don't keep it to yourself. Spread the joy. Send it to a friend, bring it up over coffee, or even spark a conversation with that random person next to you. Trust me, we could all use a little more light in our day. We hope your week is unfolding beautifully, just as it is for us. Join us again tomorrow for another 10-minute dose of humor, wisdom, and storytelling, the perfect reset for your mind and heart. Until then, keep laughing, keep loving, and keep leaning into God's unshakable joy. This is Humour Meets Storytelling with Dr. Muthoni Omuhango, signing off with faith, fun, and a heart full of stories. See you soon.